We've spent the past few weeks here in Washington, D.C., a city that I dreamed we could spend this much time in. However, in execution, it has not really lived up to what we were hoping. I wish we could say that we've seen so many of the wonderful sights and visited all of the wonderful free museums and really taken in the history and culture that DC has to offer. However, that has just not been the case. In a time where places across the country and across the world even are starting to reopen and feel normal again, DC very much does not feel normal. And it's understandable, but it makes for kind of a weird vacation. Like, you normally could tour buildings like the Capitol behind me here or the White House, and you can't for a few reasons right now. We knew before coming here that we would not be able to tour the White House or visit the Capitol building. You know, they haven't been offering tours for over a year now, but also with the whole insurrection in January, I think that's really added a layer of kind of weirdness that you can't get as close to things as you normally would be able to. There are a lot of things closed, but we're gonna make our way down to some of the things that we can visit today. Well, that was an awkward bike ride, but I think Carly enjoyed herself, and look at that view behind me. One of the things that I love about the Washington Monument is that there are so many places in DC that you can see it from, and it's kind of almost like a navigational tool in a way, but it's actually really interesting because it is two different shades, and that's because it was built in two phases. One, the first phase was like the 1840s to the 1850s, and then they finished construction in the 1870s, and I think it was completed in 1884. And when they had to, when they refinished it, they couldn't quite match the color, so that's why it's two different colors. And at the time that it was completed in 1884, it was the tallest building in the world, so it's pretty neat. I've never actually come this far up to the Washington Monument. It is a gorgeous view from up here. Love it. Here, halfway between the Lincoln Memorial and the Washington Monument, is the World War II Memorial.
I was really confused by this place because I don't remember it from the last time I was here, but I just saw that they built it in 2004 and I was here in 2001, so makes sense now.
Yeah, it's fairly new. So this not only honors the 16 million people who served in the armed forces during World War II for the United States, but also there is a wall that honors the over 400,000 people that died serving. I'm sure it would be much more crowded in a typical summer, but right now the Lincoln Memorial is probably the most crowded thing that we've seen yet, but that's okay. We're gonna go look at it. We came to see it, so let's go. I'm gonna go inside, and then Jeremy and I are gonna do the switcheroo, because this is something she's not allowed inside of, so. All right, are you ready to go inside? Because I am.
I saw a pretty adorable thing when I went up to the monument. A little girl asked if she could sit on Lincoln's lap. Mom had to tell her no.
We have a few more stops we'd like to make. However, the parking garage we parked in very specifically told us if we do not get back in time at 6 o'clock, we could get towed. So we have about an hour and a half that we have left to explore. So let's do a little bit more monument searching. The Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial is really neat. I love that the wall has various quotes down both sides, and it's just really, it's a really neat place. Across the way from the basin is Jefferson Memorial. We are not going to make it there today, and it looks like it is under some construction right now anyways, so. Alright, let's go find some scooters and get back to the side of town we parked on. The scooters are slim pickings around here, so I've got a Lime, Jeremy's got a Bird, and hopefully we make it back to check out the White House before we have to go to our car, which is, we're not parked too far away from there. So, all right, let's go. You ready? Carly's ready. She seems to like this now. And this right here is about as good of a view as you're gonna get of the White House. We saw it.
We did.
Now let's head back. Let's drop our scooters off near where we're parked. We just parked our mismatched scooters. So what was your favorite of the things we've gotten?
Bike.
I really liked the Bird. It had a lot of get up and go. Jeremy's electric scooter, the Lime, he struggled with it. So if you do come to DC and you want to, yeah, Bird is the word, because I guess his said it had full juice or almost full juice, but it did not.
There was the fact that our rides on the scooters were like 12 bucks each, so we probably would have been better off with a lift.
Yeah,
but we wouldn't have seen the White House with the lift.
That's true. Holy moly. That was intense, but we made it, and we have more fun planned. So, our friend got us tickets to a museum. We actually are going to be going to at least a couple museums. So, we will see you very soon. Good morning. Today we are over at the Arlington National Cemetery. It is a military cemetery across the way from Washington, D.C. in Virginia. This is a massive, like 600 plus acre cemetery. We don't have a lot of time to spend here today, but we are gonna hit at least a couple important people that are buried here. But it's highly recommended that you check it out if you are in the area. It's beautiful grounds, and there are a lot of very significant people throughout the course of history that are buried here. Looks like a funeral procession is happening way over there with officers on horseback. We are making our way up the hill to visit John F. Kennedy and Jackie Onassis Kennedy. It is beautiful here. It is also quite hilly, and we had quite a bit of walking yesterday, so let's continue on. Well, this is kind of a bummer. You can't even get that close to the eternal flame for John F. Kennedy. You can't even like see their headstone or anything. So again, maybe not the time to come to DC, but it is very beautiful if you do have the chance to come here in a normal time.
So there's a lot of other famous people, presidents, Taft for example, that are buried here, but we just don't have time to visit them all today.
But we will see you guys shortly when we get to visit some museums that are open now. This is a Cobra helicopter that was used during, among other things, the Vietnam War. It actually flew 2,100 combat hours in Vietnam. Incredible that there's just like so many interesting, like this piece of aircraft has a lot of significance behind it, just like this single one, you know? This is the Sikorsky JRS-1. This is a seaplane that was at Pearl Harbor. This is what it would have looked like on the day of the attack. Shortly after the attack, they painted it blue, and all these years they've just kind of let it sit so you can kind of see some of the original paint shining through. The thing really is huge, like even from over here.
Yeah.
is the Apollo 11 command module, the only part of the Apollo 11 spacecraft that returned to Earth intact.
It's pretty crazy that this thing toured around all 50 states before they brought it back here. The Smithsonian.
Right here behind me is the Space Shuttle Discovery, which, at least in my opinion, is probably the neatest thing in here, at least in the space hangar. This is the longest running space shuttle that we have used. I think it was like 30 years that it was used. It got retired in 2011. And it went on 39 orbital Earth missions and went something like 150 million miles. So this is a pretty impressive piece of spacecraft. It's really weird to see it up close and just see all of the, like, the weird, yeah, like the weird pieces of how it's like the patchwork on the outside of it. There's a sign that was saying that the two of these are just test nozzles that they didn't actually orbit with before it retired. But this bottom left one, that has been in orbit 14 times. It's not every day that you come to a space museum and see, you know, the model used in the movie Close Encounters of the Third Time. Third time? Third kind. Look at this cute little sky baby. So this cute little thing, it was considered the world's smallest plane for quite a while. A guy named Ray Stitz actually built this in his home in 1952, and I think it went like 185 miles per hour at top speed, and went unchallenged as the world's smallest plane until the 80s when they decided that that wasn't true. So it's pretty cool though. It's a cute little thing. This is the Breitling Orbiter 3. It completed the first non-stop flight around the world in a balloon in 1999. That's what it would have looked like with its balloon attached. It traveled a total of 28,431 miles.
So this balloon capsule behind me is pretty incredible. It took a skydiver up on the highest drop ever over Roswell, New Mexico. It was 127,000 feet. It took him about 4.5 minutes from when he jumped off until he landed on the ground.
That was in 2012?
Yep.
Dang. So high up, he's got, well, I guess maybe he would have worn that anyway. Looks like a spacesuit, but maybe that was intentional. One of the things that I love about this place is that it's not just, you know, you walk around on the floor and you look at the planes, but there's actually all these different, like, multiple levels and ramps and layers, so you get to see like different angles of everything, and that is really cool. I love the view of the Discovery from up here on the second floor. Also, there appears to be an X-Wing in here. I feel like we just stumbled upon a hidden gem, but yeah, if you're a Star Wars fan, especially if you're coming soon, definitely come to the top section by the space area where you can see what they're working on, because that's definitely an X-Wing. They've got like parts laid out on the different pallets. There's like a piece over there. Jeremy thinks because of the jet, is that what it is?
Yeah, the engine shape.
The engine shape, that it's a newer one. I don't know. I don't pay attention that much. But either way, it's pretty freaking cool. They also have Evel Knievel's bike right there. There's a little video playing about this one. That this is a bomber that flew more missions in World War II than any other aircraft. So it's pretty neat that they're working on it. Down there is a 1909 Wright plane that is the first military flyer. It was built by the Wright brothers, so that's pretty amazing. It's amazing that they've got everything from, you know, the first military plane all the way to a plane from Star Wars. afternoon it is now.
Yes, 1:30.
This is our friend Shannon. She's part of our Disney family.
Yep.
She's on the podcast that Jeremy used to be a part of, Disney at a Distance.
Yep.
We just ate some delightful burgers and salad at the Proper 21, good restaurant.
It's really good.
Yeah. And now we are going to go to a museum that Shannon got us tickets to.
Yeah, the National Museum of African American History and Culture.
Yes. it's right there. Yeah, it's right here. So let's go inside. Powerful museum. It is basically spans the entire experience from the beginning of slave trading in the 1400s to all the way to Barack Obama being elected president, and it's just full of history and information, and highly recommend it. It's a very powerful experience, but it's, I think, one that is very eye-opening. So definitely check this out if you are in Washington, D.C. and make sure that you get your tickets ahead of time, because right now they're doing timed entry. Shannon got us tickets, but we tried at the same time and we could not get tickets, so make sure you get them ahead of time. I heard the lady telling somebody that they release them out 30 days in advance, but you can sometimes get same-day tickets at like 8:15 a.m. So you can't just show up right now and walk in, so make sure you get your tickets ahead of time. We are just wandering around DC and coming across all kinds of interesting things. Like, we just saw the site of Rhodes Tavern, which was basically the first town hall of Washington, D.C., where they had the first election here, and found this plaque about the lady that founded AARP. There's a neat old hotel, the Hotel Washington. It's now a W, that has what we think might be presidents along the top of it, but not totally sure because they're kind of hard to see. But yeah, just lots of lovely sights to take in, besides, you know, the things that we can't see as close, like the White House. Right here behind me is Ford's Theater. This is the theater where John Wilkes Booth shot Abraham Lincoln. Normally you can go inside and see it. There's, I think, a museum inside, but it's closed right now. I believe by the time this video goes up it should be reopening though, so you have to check their website. And then if you just turn around right here, just across the street is the Peterson House. This is the house where Abraham Lincoln died. This is also a place that you can tour. We are not able to tour it right now, but they have been offering tours here, and I think it's been open to the public since like the 1930s. This whole street is covered in not only different things about Ford's Theater, different buildings that it looks like they own, but there's an Abe's Cafe and Gift. Down this way you can get a waffle at Lincoln's Waffle Shop. Located in Bethesda, Maryland, this was a popular amusement park that opened in the late 1800s and operated all the way through 1968. It is now run by the National Park Service, so there are all kinds of activities. You can take like art classes. It's very art centered. There's galleries. It's just a really neat place where you can explore all these relics from the past. And we are here with our friends, Vanessa and Chad. They have a channel called 2 Tickets to Adventure.
Yep.
So they actually are the ones that found this place and invited us out. So thank you guys, because this place is pretty cool.
Thank you for coming.
It's pet friendly too. Yep, we're okay. You're saying that these were the very first bumper cars in the United States?
I think that's what the documentary said, yeah.
Okay, alright. That is really interesting. So I guess originally these were actually called scooter and they were the first bumper cars in the world, not even just the US. A bunch of yurts, and they're pottery yurts. Glen Echo Park is a really fun stop, and it's really not far outside of DC, so thank you for recommending this and coming and meeting up with us. Make sure you go check out their channel, 2 Tickets to Adventure. We'll leave a link below and up here and all the places.
All over the place.
So Chad and Vanessa also brought us some local Maryland Cronuts, but they're shaped like muffins or cupcakes.
Oh my god. Yeah. I didn't expect it to be as sweet as it is. So good. Oh, yum. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. They also gave us a Selena cup. I'm a big fan of Selena right here. So it's been so good to hang out with both them and Shannon yesterday. Unfortunately, we don't have any more fun friend time, but we do have a lot more food to eat and other places to visit. So make sure that you are subscribed, and we'll see you very soon with some more DC fun-ish.